you know what time it is, Gonz. It's time.
We need a great reset.
Learn to use the dark side of the Force.
Sorry, Klaus was cutting you off there.
No, I thought the timing was perfect.
Now you are cooking.
Can I get 2 hamburgers?
Yes, sir.
With french fries?
Yes, sir.
What about an omelet?
Sure. Got a couple eggs.
I'm hungry. Reaching back into some old jingles, food jingles.
Love it.
This is UPI.com, and it was reported this morning. Meat producer recalls 120,000 pounds of beef after finding E. coli strain. Oh, yeah. So the food itself, the meat itself has its own pandemic starting. New Jersey
this
meat plant.
E. coli pops up everywhere.
Oh,
Usually it's
convenient.
lettuce.
Yeah.
Remember all the lettuce recalls?
Yeah.
I've never heard E. coli on beef before, but okay.
A New Jersey meat plant is recalling more than 120,000 pounds of ground beef that may be contaminated with E. coli, a digestive bacteria that can cause severe illness, federal regulators say. The Agriculture Department's Food Safety and Inspection Service announced the recall this week. It said the 0103 E. coli strain was found by routine testing of the products. So there you go, routine. And
Poutine.
This is just one story of many different stories that have been hitting the news in terms of just issues with food production mainly, and I don't know.
It's a wonderful setup. It feels like, because we've seen the rumblings, the quakings throughout the economy and the supply chain about how food is going to become more and more a commodity. I'd say a commodity, more and more a commodity than it is just sort of like
a consumer good.
Universally accessible product set of products. Yeah. Especially in the U.S., where we are generally not without access to food in most places, to most people, unfortunately not universally. But
we have the opposite problem. We have the obesity problem here
in America. Food, right. But as we do, track the trends, pay attention to the pre-messaging, the laying of the foundation. Of course, we've had Biden just straight up say, we're in trouble, so you're going to be hungry. So now we're kind of seeing
creating the food shortages. That's, I think, his exact quote. Something close to that.
Yeah, right. He's what is it? We're something like we're disseminating food shortages.
Distributing food shortages.
Distributing food shortages. Yeah, thanks, Biden. Yeah. And it all once you hear something like that, you can watch the dominoes fall, which will ultimately end with it's Putin's fault.
It's Putin's fault. And so a couple weeks ago, The Independent, through Yahoo here, had a headline: ammonia explosion risk at California food plant fire prompts evacuations. So this was one California food plant that had evacuations with ammonia explosion risk. And so that's not the only one. There's been a bunch. So it's been a theme that truther types have been talking about. And I found this interesting article from powderbulksolids.com, or Powder and Bulk Solids. And the headline, the headline.
What is this outlet?
It's some distributor of industry of powder and bulk solids.
They distribute powders and bulk solids.
Yeah.
I got it. Wow.
Their headline here: rumor of food processing plant fires, quote unquote, trend spreads. And this is a level of reporting these guys are doing.
Rumors.
Fact-checking website Snopes issued a report this week dispelling an online rumor circulating that asserts there is an ongoing, quote-unquote, trend of suspicious fires at food processing plants in the United States over recent months. Social media users and a number of websites started to spread the theory in April 2022 after several major blazes at food facilities made headlines.
Okay.
Quote, this claim was used by some to push the notion that nefarious forces were attacking these facilities in order to create a food shortage, Snopes wrote. Quote, when we examined this rumor, however, it quickly fell apart upon scrutiny. Now, there's already the straw man built right there, that their nefarious forces were attacking these facilities in order to create food shortages. That's the
Right.
straw man, okay?
Yeah.
And then the article goes on and posts a bunch of tweets with people saying a bunch of stuff. It mentions AmericanFaith.com, a Christian website, telling readers, quote, most of the incidents have shown no foul play after investigation. The trend presents a curious string of events across the country, which is, a reasonable sort of take on the whole
It is
thing.
curious.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is curious. But it, gets more specific. When Snopes started looking at examples of food processing plant fires included in various articles and social media posts on the quote-unquote trend, they discovered that none of the incidents mentioned were linked to suspected arson, and, and that the majority of fires did not significantly impact production at the facilities. So again, just because there wasn't an arsonist involved doesn't mean that there's a greater agenda at play here.
I love
it's crazy.
I love the fact-checking industry. It is just so laughable.
This is a quote from Snopes. When we searched for news articles about fires at food manufacturing plants in previous years, it became abundantly clear that this was not a new trend. No, it's been happening forever. They've been basically agreeing with this idea that the food shortage agenda has been at play forever.
Yeah, right. It's a long-term
Right, Snopes?
play. This is nothing new.
No, it's not. And I love this end part here. Powder and bulk solids commends Snopes for playing a role in squashing this rumor and helping to increase awareness of the realities of industrial fire safety.
Commends
Snopes. Oh, wow. Okay.
Love
All right.
it.
Thanks, powder and bulk solids. Then there's foodprocessing.com doing similar work here. And the headline's a little bit different. This one says, again, foodprocessing.com, the magazine of the food industry. FBI warns farmers about cyber attacks. ... Not about food plant explosions.
They're going to hack the beans. They're hacking our corn, man.
In one of those conspiracy-fueled fake news stories, the FBI this month did indeed warn farmers and agricultural businesses about cyber attacks, but it did not draw a connection between cyber terrorism and recent fires at American food plants. I love how they just continuously build straw men to tear down. That's the only way.
That makes me think that there are hackers hacking these plants, setting
and
it on
then
fire.
setting it on fire, right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So you get some sort of automated, processing machine. It's probably all robots in there, and it just takes a little tweakerooski, turn up the heat on the old bean fryer, and booyah, the whole place goes up.
Yeah. So
you can do it from anywhere in the world too. I'm surprised they're not blaming this on Russia.
Well, maybe that's the next step.
It's a matter of time.
Well, the only way they are going to admit to any kind of cyber security breach or some kind of cyber attack that resulted in these fires is to blame Russia. So they have to get all their ducks in a row before they start rolling out that narrative, right? So
they're going to be Russian hackers that are taking out our food supply.
The fact that the FBI actually, see, the funny thing is that it seems to be a fact, even according to the foodprocessing.com here, trying to dispel all these conspiracy theories. They do admit that the FBI warned farmers and agricultural businesses about cyber attacks. So it's just funny the way they put that into the sentence, the top sentence.
Right.
In one of those conspiracy-fueled fake news stories, here's something true, but then not the connection to cyber terrorism with fires at the food plant. So, very
Right.
specific.
All this is true, but we don't like
just don't connect the dots.
Implication.
Yeah, the dots are true. Just don't connect it.
Exactly.
Which is very funny. Uh-oh, did I lose you? No, did you freeze? Uh-oh, we had a little cyber moment.
Did I?
Yeah, just a second. You're fine. Start over.
Did my corn get hacked?
It did.
I love the phrase conspiracy fueled because they're using it in sort of the colloquial sense. Conspiracy meaning like crazy theory,
false information,
crazy false thing. When saying conspiracy fueled just means like, yeah, there is a conspiracy and they wrote about it. That is the facts of the matter are the fuel for reporting the facts. That is how journalism is supposed to work, Snopes, but okay.
Well, that's not how they operate. That's not protocol over at Snopes there.
Mm-hmm.
But I just thought I'd touch on some of the food things here because it is a topic of conversation and it's part of the Great Reset and it's part of the agenda and the whole deal. So I expect to see more of this type of
Again,
going
the
on.
timing is not as good as it has been for previous Biden statements.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we need to fix our bridges. They're all going to collapse. Oopsies. Next day it collapsed. I'm going to go over there and make a speech.
Food being one of those things that takes a supply chain, all that stuff. It takes a little while to really, have an effect. You can't. I mean, there are major pipelines. Maybe that's they're just working their way up to those big pipelines.
We need Biden. But the second Biden needs to get up in the next day or two, and he's going to say, "Where am I? Oh yeah. Well, Russia's going to blow up and hack our food stuff, and it's all Putin's fault." And then, the next morning, literally the next morning, he's driving whatever to Chick-fil-A or something. And then there's an explosion in a factory. And he just happens to be right there with a camera crew. And he gets to, build back better.